Yeah? Oh, no. Welcome to this panel. Today is a great day for 5G Meet. It's a presentation of our project. It's one of the corridors that are part of the ICT 53 call, and one of the 7 European corridors in Europe that are working towards the future infrastructure and mobility in Europe. Okay? I'm Raúl González. I'm the project coordinator of 5G Meet. And the project, we are 21 partners in the project from 7 countries. And we work to make a reality this slogan: the future mobility in the Mediterranean cross-border corridor, and to be the reference for the rest of the corridors in the future. Okay. The main target that we have in 5G Meet project is design a common road and railways 5G infrastructure architecture with the proven sustainable business models, demonstrate investment viability and scalability potential. That's quite important. It's not only a technological project. It's a project that tries to be a reality in the rest of the more than 20,000 kilometers of corridors in Europe. And that means that it's necessary to work not only in the infrastructure and the technology, but on the other side, on the business model, deployment models, and work with all the stakeholders that will use this infrastructure in the future. And that's something that is crucial for us. It's not only a technological test, it's more than that. The architecture that we are designing in this project respond to 2 walls that actually are working in a separate way: CCAM and FRMCS. That means one infrastructure for 2 walls, like road operators and railways operators. That's crucial for the sustainability of the projects, taking account the importance of the new mobility and the coordination between those 2 walls. It's quite important to have a service continuity in all the conditions and independently of the strategies of each one of the operators that have in each one of the sites of the countries. In that case, in the coast border. Okay? To be more concrete, we will deploy an infrastructure in 65 kilometers between Figueres and Perpignan. But there are several scenarios in these 65 kilometers that makes different this project. The first one, more than 55% of those 65 kilometers are close, the railways and the roads. That means we try to find the biggest synergy as possible from the point of view of the infrastructure, and to share as much as possible the infrastructure and the services between the 2 walls. Basically, to improve the experience to move. Because if the level of automatization of the cars go up to level 4, level 5, the people that is inside those vehicles has the same experience that actually has the people that is in the train. And they need additional services that they haven't got. But at the same time, the vehicles need more services to achieve this level of automatization that we will achieve in the future. The rest of the infrastructure, we can think that it's normal, but we have one issue that is quite important. We have 8 kilometers of tunnels between Spain and France that the high-speed train spend 96 seconds to cross that tunnel. And we want to achieve a service continuity in that tunnel. And that's crucial. That's something that is differentiated from another kind of projects. And it's something that it's a great challenge for us. There are a lot of things around that. Great part of the roads and the railways hasn't got access to the energy or the power that is needed for the telecom equipment. And we need to find solutions to deploy this infrastructure in the most sustainable way. And that's another point where we are working during the project, okay? And obviously, the combination of different technologies and has this service continuity across not only 5G networks, but at the same time, CB2B networks or ground-to-train communications and improve this user experience inside the train. To do that, there are key elements that we will use it during the project. The first one is, and one of the most important, is the use of AI in different aspects. The first one, in the TMC management, or in the video analytics, that it's needed to understand what is happening in this area, and to provide this information from this video analytic to the vehicles, but at the same time, from the point of view of the network, where you need to understand what are the resources in each moment, how the people is moving during the travel between this cross-border, and then provide the services in advance to them, with the risk to not have this service continuity that we set, okay? And obviously, the great challenge is this roaming using these 5G standalone core networks between the two countries, okay? That's one of the points that actually it's needed to work very hard on it. And the last point is the different strategies in each one of the MNOs that has in each one of the countries, makes that this infrastructure could be more challenging, not only for the roaming point of view, but at the same time to achieve this latency that is needed for this kind of services that we will provide it. That's in great part, which is the project. And sorry, I left one important point. To do that, it's necessary to have a very robust orchestration systems, because there are a lot of elements that it's needed to orchestrate and be ready in the right moment to provide the services that each one that is moving in this area want, okay? Okay, that's a synopsis of the project. The challenge that we have in the project, we are very enthusiastic of this project, and this is the presentation for the project. Okay, to do that, we will have an exciting panel with different partners that it will be introduced by Monique Calisti. And I invite to Xavier Daura and the rest of the panelists to start the debate.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today and moderate this panel. I think we've heard a little bit of an overview of this very complex and articulated scenario. So this will be a hybrid panel. So we have a couple of speakers here with us. Raúl González Prats from Cellnex that, as you know, already introduced the project. But remotely we have Christian Mikas from the European Commission from DigiConnect. Good afternoon. I hope that you can hear us well. Christian, can you give us a sign if you can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, you're frozen, but we trust you hear us. Then we have, unfortunately, Pierre-Yves cannot be with us. He had a little accident. We have Xavier Daura here with us live. It's not a hologram, so don't mix it up. Then we have Oyun Chimeg Shagdar from Vedecom, and then we have Tomeo Sabater from Mobile World Capital. I would kindly ask you, when it's your turn to speak, to give a few words about yourself. You're much better than me in this, I'm sure, to talk about yourself. And now I would like to begin with a first question to Christian about how is this project, the 5G MED, actually answering to the Trans-European Transport Network 10T ambition?
Thank you very much. I'm Christian Mkam, working as a senior policy officer at the European Commission, DG Connect, in the Future Connectivity System Unit, and I'm in charge of coordinating policies activities in the area of connected and automated mobilities and 5G corridor deployment. So I'm very grateful for the organizers and the 5G Med team to share with you some insight and views on EU policies in support of 5G-enabled connected and automated mobilities and 5G cross-border corridors deployment. So indeed, 5G Med will have a very important role along with the 6 other Horizon 2020 cross-border trial projects that are currently testing and validating 5G-enabled connected and automated mobility use cases and solutions, preparing for the large-scale deployment of 5G corridors, deployments that will benefit as of this year from the funding of the Connecting Europe Facility Program over the 2021 to 2027 period. So in that respect, 5G Med will provide very useful insights, lessons and results preparing for this large-scale deployment. The vision is of a pan-European deployment of 5G corridors for connected and automated mobilities. I don't know if you can see the map on the right-hand side of the screen. Okay, I can see it from there where I am. But basically on this map, you have a combined length of 26,000 kilometers of corridors, you know, for roads, rail, inland waterways that spans across Europe and which will materialize the vision of the 5G corridor in support of connected and automated mobilities. These corridors relies on the map of the 10T corridors, and actually, indeed, some of these corridors in the southern part of Europe go through the border with between France and Spain, but also between Portugal and Spain, and this is precisely where two Horizon 2020 cross-border trial projects are taking place. The vision relies also on the integration with edge computing, with a view to achieve short latency through the decentralization of the cloud capacities, and the integration with the European Federated Cloud with a view to contribute to the development of the mobility data ecosystem in Europe. This deployment will benefit from the support of CEF. As I said, it will be mostly driven by the private sector, and it will benefit also from other EU fundings, and in particular the economic and recovery facility. I will stop here. I'm happy to respond to further questions.
Thank you, Christian. I think this gave a good overview of the size and the ambition and the challenges ahead. Raoul, can you give us the perspective of 5G Med on this?
Oh, we have a lot of expectations on 5G Med project, because at the end, it's a real project. We have two different strategies, like I said, from the MNO perspective. In Spain, we have what we said, regional office strategy, but in France, we have a local strategy. That means that we only have one point in all the corridor where we collect all the data from the different, from the area of the antennas, and then the MEC is only one in that place, and we need to complement with local MECs that we need to coordinate. On the French side, it's totally different. It's a 5G network. Think on have all the benefits of the local breakout and achieve these low latency requirements that the autonomous vehicles will need it in the future, or the projects or the users applications that need a very low latency, okay,
So-
like virtual reality.
So clearly,
And that's so challenging.
so clearly there's a lot of challenges that go beyond technology. They are covering infrastructural policy, regulation aspects, standardization aspects. I guess we will hear more during the talks. If you allow me, before we continue, now it would be the time to watch a short video because 5G Med is not only technology, it's also about building up technologies and solutions that work for specific use cases. And this short video should should provide an overview of the main use cases of the 5G Med project. I think we will see it in a second. I hope that also our remote panelists, we will see it. Here we go. Beautiful scene.
The Figueres Perpignan cross-border section sustains 55% of the road traffic and 65% of the railway between the Iberian Peninsula and Europe. 5G Med's primary goal is to demonstrate the applicability of CCAM and FRMCS across the cross-border corridor through a multi-stakeholder computer network infrastructure deployed by MNOs, neutral hosts, and road and rail operators. The remote driving use case will demonstrate that automated driving on highways can be performed in complete safety through two phases: the automated execution of the minimum risk maneuver (MRM) and the teleoperation of the vehicle to reach a safe harbor. Road infrastructure digitalization's main aim is to set up sensors to enable road operators to execute intelligent traffic management strategies that ensure uninterrupted, safe and efficient mobility in a situation of mixed conventional and automated traffic. FRMCS's goal is to demonstrate representative FRMCS performance and business application services using 3GPP WEL 16 support. Follow Me infotainment will enable in-car entertainment and an extension to potential virtual reality applications. Additionally, this will include enriched multimedia content such as audio, 2D videos, 360-degree videos, 3D models, etc., and keep in contact with friends and peers.
So now that we are back live and we are back to us, I would like to ask Xavier if we can explain us the road deployment challenges that you are facing, that you faced, that are ahead.
You can hear me? Yes.
Yes.
First, Avertis has been working.
Closer.
Avertis has been working for some years to understand the role of the road operators in this new mobility, in the CCAM mobility. We know that in this long transition period of mixed traffic that we will see connected vehicles, conventional vehicle, automated vehicle, the infrastructure will have a key role. That means that we need to digitalize the infrastructure to support these new connected and automated vehicles. That means that we need to create the new traffic management centers, the new proactive traffic management centers to guarantee the smooth and safety mobility. After several years in projects involved in autonomous mobility, I think that 5G will be the key technology to accelerate this new mobility. I think that the 5G Med project, we are working on developing new technologies that show you that 5G technologies offer many advantages and opportunities in terms of technology and cost. And then if I talk about digitalization, in the 5G Med project, we developed 3 levels of digitalization that we can identify. We have the physical and digital infrastructure. Then we have the MEC digitalization. This is a new management, that this is something new that the 5G offer. technology. Before we didn't exist this new management, and then we have the management in the cloud. No, if we talk about the different technologies in the different levels in 5G MED project, in the physical and digital infrastructure, of course, it's very important to keep the standards of quality, to keep the sensor of the vehicle in the correct way. But digitalization means that we have a high-definition map, a dynamic high-definition map. We need to transform the physical elements in digital elements. And of course, it's very important, and this is something new in this project, is the counting sensors, no? That transmit data in real time to the traffic management centers with the objective to have a microscopic or macroscopic perception of the traffic together with the connected vehicles. In 5G MED, we are developing a smart sensor using a single cameras installed in the site of the infrastructure. These cameras are covering all the lanes, and then transmit in real time and streaming video in the MEC. This MEC is the second level of management, and using video analytics through the intelligent artificial algorithms with neuronal algorithms, we transform these images in data. Data such as count vehicles for lane, speed, category. Of course, we can detect an accidents, a queues, an animals. The objective is to manage all this data. Now, thanks to the 5G, we can transmit all this video, and we can manage all this data in real time. Then this is something new that we are using, the sustainability. All these cameras are powered by solar panels. The objective is to have a smart sensors without any cable, wireless communication, green power. No, if we talk about the infrastructure on the MEC, this is something very new in this project. In the 5G MED, we are developing the first micromanagement strategies that cover only a specific section of the infrastructure. No, in this MEC, we are developing all the video analytics technologies using the artificial intelligence algorithms. We are developing the mini hubs to collect all the data from the connected vehicles and from the cameras. And we are developing the micromanagement, in this case, in some use cases that need a very low latency and are focused in safety. For instance, if we detect an accident for the cameras of connected vehicles, we can transmit traffic strategies, vehicles around this area. For instance, speed recommendations, change of lane, something like this. No? And finally, we have the infrastructure in the cloud, that we are developing the TMC, the global TMC, with a mobility hub, that we collect all the data from the different MECs around the infrastructure and collect the data from the connected vehicles. And then we add external sources, no, to improve this macroscopic vision of the traffic. No? And of course, this is very important, the interoperability in this TMC, the interoperability with the cross-border with friends. No, interoperability about data, communications, and messages. This is something very important. No? To finish, only about the use cases, of course, we have the remote driving, that thanks to the 5G, a camera installed on board of the vehicle, we can teleoperate this vehicle with a telecontrol, but it's very important that we have this macroscopic vision of the traffic and we can move this vehicle in a safe area. Of course, we talk about digitalization, and finally, the infotainment, no? That we can see a movie or a video game or a series when the vehicle is in autonomous mode. That's all. Sorry, it's a extent.
Thank you very much. I think this gives you a feeling of the level of complexity in the project that they are facing. And of course, there is also the old plethora concerning the railways that we are not able, unfortunately, to cover today because Pierre-Yves cannot be with us. But now I think let's continue. Let's give a little bit more details about the objectives of the 5G MED project. Raul, can you tell us a little bit more about the objectives of the project?
Yes. What we tried is to build an infrastructure that it could be agnostic for the services. That means that any kind of service will run independently of the 5G infrastructure that you have it, probably with different performance and probably with different business models. But that's one of the objectives of the project, is to show the ability to have a service continuity in different 5G architectures. These have this service continuity, and at the same time evaluate what are the key parameters that the user appreciate when it's changing from one technology to another one. What are the economics to deploy this infrastructure and to maintain this infrastructure, and try to find the maximum synergies as possible between the railways and the road sector, because we need to take in our head that great part of the big infrastructure are very close. And that means that actually we have two different infrastructure that you need to invest in each one of them, and we need to find the way to have as much as possible a common infrastructure to provide services to the users of that infrastructure. Probably there are some services that it couldn't share, not all the infrastructure, but a great part of them. For example, in FRMCS, there are critical services that probably it doesn't use the same antenna because they are using a different frequency, but probably can share the edge nodes that are in the sites, or can share these sites in both sides, in railways and in road sector. And that's one thing that it's quite important to accelerate this deployment of this new infrastructure in the future in Europe. And it's a key point to work on. It's which is the maximum of shareable infrastructure to deploy these 26,000 of kilometers that Christian has said before.
Yes. Maybe Oyuna, you want to add something here with respect to what Raul just introduced us?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Oyuna Chimekshagda from Institute Vidicom. So Vidicom is a French public-private institute supported by and working with around 50 French actors in the mobility domain. So that includes MNOs, Stellantis, Valeo, and also the road operators and FRMCS autoroutes, and also the mobility service providers, so RATP, Transpet. So what I can say from our working with these partners, the different actors of the mobility domain, that 5G, working with 5G MED project is bringing obviously new services for this CCAM automotive domain and also the railway domain, and even in the CCAM domain. It's something we've never seen before in 4G. What they're requiring is the functional safety, 100% reliability, and the service continuity. So if you talk with the Stellantis, we don't want best for service. We want guaranteed service, 100% service. That's why we're working 5G MED project, hybrid communication, because we can say that 5G is great, that can bring, it has huge potential, but we cannot ensure 100% reliability with one technology alone. That's why we are hybriding with the CV2X, satellite communication, and so on. To do so, what we are doing the orchestration, we are doing the bandwidth aggregation, and also artificial intelligence is being used to ensure the reliability. Another point that I can say is that more coming from the RATP, Transpet, Navia, and EasyMile, they are operating automated cars. Responsibility is they have to ensure it's on their side. They cannot let vehicle be not connected, stand alone on the road. It's not possible for them. They want to have 100% of connectivity. Maybe in some cases with degraded quality. Maybe if not we don't have the high bandwidth connectivity, that's fine. But we need to ensure the service continuity for those types of mobility. To do so, we have again working on this different hybridization and also seamless handover that's we're working in the project. And for the railway side, we are using satellite communication to ensure 100% coverage and continuity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Uyuna. Now I would like to ask something which is very central and very dear to the discussions we are having on the environmental side. Christian, can you give us the European Commission point of view about environmental concerns behind this big ambition that is connecting the whole Europe with 5G corridors?
Sure, thank you. Well, as you know, in December 2020, in December 2019, the Commission adopted the European Green Deal, and whose overarching aim is for the European Union to become the world's first climate neutral bloc by 2050. And it has goals that extend to many different sectors, including transport, by making transport smarter. And actually, the Commission has underlined in its strategy on smart and sustainable mobility the specific contribution made by 5G-enabled connected and automated mobility to improve road safety, optimizing road traffic, and reducing greenhouse gas emission and traffic congestion. So this is the context and the, I would say, overarching objectives and the challenge with 5G. You can look at the contribution of 5G to sustainability through different perspectives. One is, of course, the contribution of 5G to the reduction of energy consumption of mobile networks, because, as you know, the mobile networks as such are in the telecom sector the systems for which there is the highest energy consumption. And in that respect, the shift to 5G is expected to reduce the energy consumption as compared to 4G. And another, of course, important aspect to take into consideration is the contribution in the use of 5G to the different sectors, and in particular, transport sectors that I mentioned. There are several, I would say, elements to consider. One of them is, of course, the use of the renewable energies in the functioning of mobile communication system, so decommissioning of legacy networks, for instance, or the network sharing. And the Commission is currently engaged with the stakeholders from the sector, precisely with a view to work on these different objectives. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Tomeo, we've kept you silent so far. Can you add your view on the main ambition and challenges of the projects?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. My name is Tomeo, and I work at Mobile Capital in the development program, and my role is 5G program manager, where we run the 5G initiative, and which is an initiative focused on to get Barcelona the 5G happy in the south of Europe. And our main task is to create an ecosystem around the 5G and to promote the launch of new services based on 5G. So what I can say is that from the end user point of view, the capacities of the 5G technology will allow the creation of new services that will deliver great benefits. So on one side, the traffic optimization and safety will be highly improved, and thanks to the use of artificial intelligence and the autonomous driving, that will offer a secure performance of driving and also with the digitalization of the road infrastructure. And the intelligent traffic management will also bring more efficient mobility. And then on the other side, the edge computing and the superband, which is associated with IT, will create content distribution and will enable new multimedia formats where users can interact in a virtual world and in real time. And this new digital reality will generate new experiences that will offer virtual and immersive content to passengers and drivers. And besides, seamless service continuity in cross-border transactions will meet the quality of service requirements to deliver advanced applications and services to the passengers.
Thank you very much, Tomeo. I would like to come back for a second to the sustainability aspect and ask Raul in particular what's going on from an infrastructural point of view, at the telco network point of view.
That's a key point for the sustainability, not only on the environment point of view, but on the other side, on the economical point of view. One of the great costs is the energy that it's needed for each one of the sites to provide services. That means that we need to arrive to each one of the points where it's necessary to communicate with the vehicles or the trains. And on the other side, great part of the roads hasn't got access to this energy. In Spain, at least, it's more than 85% of the roads hasn't access to this road, to this power. That means that you need to build this infrastructure to provide services. We change that. We try to make very smart on the energy consumption, create auto-sustainable sites to provide these communication services, taking as much as possible the benefit of the wireless communications and the auto-generation of the energy that is needed. But there are a lot of challenges on that. You need to manage very well the energy. You need to understand which kind of services you are deploying in each one of the moments, in each one of the sites, for the people that it's moving there in this area, and change dynamically the service according with the energy consumption, with the needs of the people, and obviously with the service quality that is needed in each one of the moments.
Yeah, so we can definitely deploy better the technologies to protect our environment, but on the other hand, we need greening the technologies.
Yeah, we need to take into account that if the number of vehicles that is using this kind of communications growth, you need more sites.
Sure.
And you need to densify the network, the actual networks. And that's where these kind of solutions are important, not only to us to maintain the service, but on the other side, to have a sustainable business model and a sustainable environment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very important. I think it's central to all of us, the fact that technology is enabling our life in many ways, but without protecting our environment and our planet, it's not going to take us very far, this digital journey. So I think that it's time. I would like to thank all of the speakers, but I would like to ask you, Raul, to summarize what are the main next steps for the project. So what are the main next challenges you're going to face and solve?
We have talked about a lot of challenge that we have it, but the first step is to build that challenge, to work in that challenge in the testbed in Paris, in the testbed in the railways very close to the cross-border area, and at the same time here in Castellolí, and build between all the partners the different pieces that it's needed to achieve those challenges that we will have it. That's the great thing that we will do it in the next month and during the next year.
Okay, so I guess we're getting close to the end. I would like to thank...
Only would like to add something about...
Sure, please go closer. The mic has to be closer.
Sorry. That about the next step, no? I think that 5G is transforming the cross-border corridor, and I think that we have an important asset that we will have to use for future proposal, for future European project. That this is something that we are working now, Yeah. I think that we have to extend this corridor to increase the digitalization, to increase the communications. And of course, for me, it's important too, the knowledge. We have a group of French and Spanish company that we can offer this knowledge, not only the infrastructure and the knowledge. And I think that, in my personal opinion, that the Mediterranean corridor will be for me, can be in the south of Europe, the main infrastructure for testing this new mobility.
So thanks a lot for clarifying these final aspects. I would like to thank all the speakers, also the ones that are semi-frozen in our screen. We know you are very awake, but we see you somehow in a semi-frozen modality. Here in Barcelona it's quite warm, and I wish you all a very nice follow-up for this very strange event, but very happy to be here with you. To connect people, not only to connect technologies. And I think this is one of the main challenges that the 5G Med project is trying to address. There's many aspects related to infrastructure, related to technologies, related to software orchestration, data portability. And I think you have quite an important job to do for making sure that we stay connected also beyond work and business life. So thanks a lot to everyone here. Thanks a lot to the Mobile World Capital for hosting this panel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.